The prosecution could not escape the threshold question: who was driving the Four Kings when it struck the jetty? On July 3rd, 2024, every witness, every first responder, and every piece of forensic evidence pointed to John Correa at the helm.
So he was up at the top where, you drive the boat. There's a steering wheel. He was just to the left of it.
Okay.
His face, basically, in what you call the dashboard.
I spoke to lifeguards who recovered the decedent, and they believe he was the driver because he was in the captain's seat.
There was a cup holder there, and his face was
in there.
He was actually stuck in the cup holder, but the metal cup holder, his face was still stuck into it.
Civilian eyewitness Angel Mendoza described the bald guy slumped over the wheel at the moment of impact. Captain Chris Terhune, who pronounced Correa dead, never contradicted it. The medical evidence reinforces their words with precision. Kevin King's trauma was lateral, confined to the right side of his face, with no injuries to his left side, chest, or torso. That is not the injury pattern of a man projected into a wheel or console. It is the injury pattern of someone offset at the top of the flybridge ladder, thrown forward into the walkway. Physics does not lie. The Four Kings struck the jetty at a nearly perfect 90-degree angle. Every passenger's body was launched forward. King's single lateral injury matches the trajectory from the ladder. John Correa and Sarah Cameron, by contrast, suffered injuries across both sides of their faces and chest. Both were found beneath the helm. Correa had a large gash on his knee, consistent with a head-on crash into the dashboard. Correa's Cal Berkeley cap was recovered from the dashboard, and yet the narrative changed. First, Correa was found in the driver's seat. Then he was shifted to the passenger seat. Now prosecutors claim he wasn't in either seat at all. This is not a minor inconsistency. Vehicular manslaughter is a homicide charge. There are no homicide cases in which the body of the victim is moved 3 different times to 3 different physical locations. That does not happen by mistake. It happens when a story is rewritten. It happens when evidence is bent to fit a theory. The truth has never changed, only the story has. Kevin King was found in the walkway, so far from the helm that passengers were filmed stepping over his unconscious body. John Correa and Sarah Cameron bore the bilateral injuries of operators crushed at the controls. This is not a technicality. This is a frame-up, a setup. And if prosecutors can twist physics, medicine, and testimony to frame Kevin King for a homicide he did not commit, then no one, not the wealthy, not the poor, not anyone at all, is safe. Scott Dixon pronounced that he had 3 versions of who was driving the boat when it wrecked. There were 3 people found either dead or unconscious under the helm and wheel or near the helm: Kevin King, Sarah Cameron, and John Correa. Kevin King's location after the wreck is undisputable and video recorded. The walkway where Kevin King was laying and where the passenger steps over King in the previous video can be seen in this photo, to the left and in front of the helm and the wheel. The passenger steps over King in the walkway, in front of the helm and the wheel, and to the left. Kevin King is bleeding profusely from his injuries. Hours after the wreck and after being treated on the jetty, Kevin King was still bleeding in the ambulance and at the hospital. Each witness described King as bleeding profusely on the Four Kings. Circumstantially, the fact that Kevin King was not found under the wheel or helm proves he was not driving when it wrecked. The complete lack of blood under the helm or wheel proves Kevin King was not present under the helm when he was bleeding. Aaron Fletcher's official report identifies the 3 people allegedly behind the helm after the wreck. Sarah Cameron was identified as being under the wheel. Video evidence proves Sarah Cameron was not bleeding profusely under the helm. The lack of blood is circumstantial evidence that she was not near Kevin King. She does not have blood on her hands, her pants, or her feet. Fletcher's post-wreck diagram identifies John Correa as the third person under the helm. The diagram does not show Correa on the driver's side as described by Mendoza, Beebe, Fletcher, and Terhune. The diagram does not show Correa in the passenger seat as Beebe's diagram showed. Correa has now been moved to a third location. No witness, no video or evidence placed him out of the seat and on the floor. But the evidence does place him in the seat before the wreck, the driver's seat. Forensic evidence usually offers the definitive word on disputes in criminal cases. Unlike witnesses who lie or are mistaken, forensic evidence does not have a motive to lie. Notice the split laceration to John Correa's knee. It is positioned on the inside of the knee, directly aligned with the protrusion in front of the right knee. Notice there is no damage to the left knee. Notice the outside the right knee would not strike the protrusion. The only person with a split laceration caused from blunt force was John Correa. The only person identified as bald and driving and on the dashboard was John Correa. The only person identified as the driver was John Correa. Angel Mendoza, Aaron Fletcher, Devin Beebe, and Chris Terhune each identified John Correa as the driver of the boat. The forensic evidence simply corroborates that evidence.